Hey guys, I don't know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can hear me. There's a bit of a, I don't know if it's a crisis or what, emerging in the Bitcoin community. Um, Let me see. I wouldn't call it a crisis, but let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. Um, so yeah, basically 80,000 Bitcoin have disappeared. And there was a fascinating article written by a French man who may or may not be in correspondence with. I'll leave it at that. But he wrote this article. I'm trying to get in correspondence with him. This is the article in question. And you said the sound's delayed. Hold on. Maybe I can fix that. I don't know. It's a bitrate thing. Hopefully that's better. So if you can read this article, because it's really fascinating. Let's dive into it a bit, but let me also promote this because I want people to see this. Okay, cool. So we have a lot of things going on here. Let's read this guy's article. Like I said, he's a French cyberpunk, ciphertux, and he wrote, I thought, was a pretty good, high quality article. So this article, I like what he says. The block whispers to those who listen, and you guys know that this is sort of a hobby of mine. I've written a lot of little programs that look into this type of thing. Here's my Bitcoin node. For example, and I was running a nice little program looking for nonce collisions, which I stopped because it's pretty computationally intensive. So let me see if I can restart it without the computationally intensive part. But let's read the ciphertux article. This is really interesting. I'll read it out loud for you guys because this is one of the most fascinating things that's ever happened in all Bitcoin. So let's read that first, and we'll get to the programs in a minute. All right. When the investigation outgrows the investigator. A few days ago, on July 6th, I published my first investigation about the mysterious 80,000 Bitcoin, moved on July 4th. What followed exceeded all my expectations. Nearly 1 million views, fiery debates across the entire crypto community, and a collective realization that something significant was happening. But above all, one troubling fact became clear. I was apparently the only person conducting a full technical investigation into this case. This is probably true, mon ami. This guy's French, so I have to communicate him a little in his language. Tongue de la mer. I studied French for 10 years, but I forgot most of it. So, in any event, I think this guy is pretty sharp. Again, if I could, maybe I have to do this somewhat in French as well. So, je pense que cet homme est très vif. To prolong to a much longer story, what I initially thought was the conclusion of my first investigation turned out only to be a prologue. Since that publication, discoveries have followed a dizzying pace. Every lead unearthed new mysteries. Every answer raised 10 new questions. I'll say, si vous ne connaissez pas le Bitcoin, tout est une question des courbes elliptiques. If you don't know Bitcoin, everything is about elliptic curves. I'm going to ask him if he's watching, because if he's trying to speak French, and my French is, I hope he thinks it's good. Okay, first and foremost, a massive thank you. Thank you to everyone who's followed my investigations. I should probably follow and connect with these people too. Isam Satoshi. Let's see. Arno Mac and Radio Chad, which is a French guy as well. Mostly French guys. Okay. The transformation of an investigation into a revelation. I did not make this site. This is a French man, a cypherpunk. What began as the analysis of a mysterious fund movement has evolved into something far deeper. The potential discovery of the most unexpected cryptographic exploit in Bitcoin's history. That far? Not really. I'm not sure what he meant by that part. From biased ECDSA nonces to historical RNG vulnerabilities, from lattice attacks to exploitable patterns, through unbelievably sophisticated legal constructs and disturbing connections to controversial figures in the ecosystem, this investigation took me down paths I've never imagined. Now, again, a lot of you may know that I spent some time on elliptic curve cryptography. I've particularly lately been doing something called index calculus, which is an attempt to turn the Bitcoin discrete log problem into a system of linear equations. And so we'll talk about that in a second. But again, I just want to focus on his article. I reached out to Charlie Shrem, one of my old friends who was one of the first Bitcoiners, and we discussed briefly a little bit about this as well. But let's talk some more about this. The anatomy of unprecedented sophistication. Well, I did make a long Bitcoin presentation before prison, so I don't know if you caught that, Lee. What follows isn't just the continuation of my investigation. It is progressive revelation of an operation that combines technical innovation, a first-of-its-kind exploit. Here I'm somewhat suspicious. I think that there is some reason to believe this is not an actual hack. Let me say this. I think there is reason to believe this is not a cryptographic hack. So je pense qu'il y a des raisons de croire s'il ne s'agit pas d'un piratage cryptographique. I think it's just a plain old side channel attack. Je pense que c'est juste une simple attaque par canal auxiliaire. So technical innovation, a first-of-its-kind exploit, legal strategy using existing laws to legalize the illegal. This guy has a very specific opinion on the law, I suppose. Psychological warfare, symbolic timing, and clever narrative camouflage. This is where it gets quite interesting. The lone detective against the impossible. This French man is a lone detective. Peut-être. To this day, I remain the only investigator to have connected all these dots. He's a little bit careful. I understand, it's important to be prudent. But a little also paranoid. Paranoid.
Paranoïaque.
Paranoïaque. But in any event, or en tout ça, on y va. This unique position allowed me to see what no one else saw, but it also reveals something troubling about the nature of this operation. It was designed to go unnoticed. Peut-être. Here is the full anatomy of what I consider to be the most sophisticated Bitcoin exploit ever documented. Now, we covered, I don't know if we covered this. I covered this in my Discord sometimes. This is one of the other most interesting exploits. This is something called MilkSad, which was a very interesting crypto exploit that relied on pseudo-number generation and a poorly executed 32-bit implementation of Bitcoin. About 1,000 Bitcoin accounts got drained. Very fascinating situation with MilkSad. But this makes MilkSad look like child's play. This makes MilkSad look like child's play. Cela fait que MilkSad ressemble à un jeu d'enfant. Un jeu d'enfant. Okay, so why is it un jeu d'enfant, a child's game? An investigation that suggests we may be witnessing only the early days of a cryptographic revolution that few have yet realized is unfolding. A wild investigative timeline. The discrete log problem in Bitcoin has nothing to do with black scholes. This is just a simple, like any other discrete log, you're trying to invert, e to the n mod p. And this is very, very hard due to the modular arithmetic of a very large number. I hope he's watching the stream. He's not really responding, but in any event. Since the first publication, I've spent a considerable amount of time digging into every lead, analyzing every technical detail, dissecting every suspicious connection. This investigation led me down paths I've never imagined. My starting point was Craig Wright and Calvin Eyre. The PDF modification dated July 4th, the Solomon references and historical tweets, the ties to the Kleiman trial, everything seemed to point to a sophisticated operation orchestrated by the man who claims to be Satoshi. Now, who is Craig Wright? Craig Wright is this guy who some people think is actually Satoshi. Most people do not think he is Satoshi. And this is somebody that is a fairly sophisticated computer scientist. My girlfriend and I were reading his... he wrote something on Bitcoin recently. On quantum computing recently, and I even showed you guys some of this paper, Quantum Computation and Analytical Rebuttal, or an Analytic Rebuttal. And he talks a little bit about a lot of the things that we talked about in quantum computing. As you guys know, we're short these quantum computing stocks. It's been very frustrating to be short these stocks, and it is what it is. But Craig has some theories on quantum computing that are a little bit more elaborate than even some of mine, which are worth looking into. So in any event, but in hindsight, one question haunts me. Were we deliberately led down this path? As someone familiar with steganography, steganography is hiding images in other images or something like that. This isn't my expertise, steganography. But it's a part of cryptography. I realize that this trail may have been too easy. Here I think this Frenchman, he's being a little plus paranoïque, a little too paranoid, trop paranoïque. Amateurs at this level would never have left such obvious clues. I think that when somebody panics, they leave clues. Panic is... Le panique est... la panique can do... Même a des indices, clues, hints. Unless it was intentional. The clever strategy to ensure that investigators would rapidly follow this false lead. The steganographic rabbit hole deepens. Okay, here's what this gets really interesting. Beyond the simple op return spam. So what is this? This is, okay, so if you guys have been lost for now and you don't understand what the hell I'm talking about, I really want to show you what the hell happened. So 80,000 Bitcoin moved, okay? 80,000 Bitcoin moved. And $8.6 billion. Do you understand? $8.6 billion. And you can look at this on Arkham. I hate Arkham personally, but c'est la vie. And you can see the transactions. 80,000 Bitcoin, that's $8 or $9 billion. So how'd this all happen? Well, it doesn't really matter because one of the things that happened that was really important here are these hidden messages that were included in the blockchain. It says here, legal notice. We have taken possession. We have taken possession of this wallet and its contents. What? Qu'est-ce que ça? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? We have taken possession of this wallet and its contents. Anyone can send those OP returns to this address. Oui. Let me say this in French. Anyone can send these to this address. N'importe qui peut les envoyer à cette adresse. Oui, mais there's an important detail. The messages were sent before the tokens were moved. Les messages ont été envoyés avant que les jetons ne soient déplacés. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? So what else did this person say? They said, if it's not abandoned, prove it by an on-chain using private key in an on-chain transaction by 9:30. They gave a deadline. Avant. Silent T. Tweet this French link or paste it here. Third message. Notice to owners, see SolomonBrothers.com. Now, those of you who know Wall Street, no, I cannot stop with the French, I'm sorry. C'est d'entre vous qui connaissez Wall Street know that Salomon Brothers, sachez que les frères Salomon was one of the biggest investment banks, était l'une des plus grandes banques d'investissement in America in the 1980s, en Amérique dans les années 1980. So now, go to this website. Go to SolomonBrothers.com, owner's notice. What the fuck is this? Maxime, I apologize for my poor French. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? They took it down. This was here. This was here hours ago. What happened? What the fuck? Okay, it's still here. It's still here. We got this. Still live. Because is it the www? Sometimes if you don't put the www, what the fuck? Is it cached? Oh, owner notice underscore versus dash. It looks like the Frenchman got it backwards. Okay. The digital wallet appears to be lost or abandoned. This digital wallet appears to be lost or abandoned. Our client has taken constructive possession of it. Our client has taken constructive possession of it. Now, this is a weird concept. Yeah, John Merriweather, we... Sometimes you need the www prefix. And seeks to determine if there is a bona fide owner. This legal notice is posted pursuant to and in compliance with applicable law. Well, that might be wishful thinking. Cela pourrait entre un vœu pieux. What is complying with applicable law is up to a judge. Ce qui est conforme à la loi dépend d'un juge. But anyway, he says, this legal notice is posted pursuant to and in compliance with applicable law, which is intended to provide an opportunity for the owner to claim property, otherwise qualifying as lost or abandoned. This owner is provided 90 days to respond to this notice. Now, there are things like legal notices and things like that, but this is a very strange thing. If no response is received, the wallets and their contents, which is $8 billion fucking dollars, will be considered to be confirmed as abandoned. In sum, the lack of a response may be provided to a court as evidence of the relinquishment of all rights, title, and interest. This is an important legal notice, and rights can be adversely impacted if the owner does not respond. Provide ownership by sending Solomon Brothers a message using the contact form below with the detailed description of your valid claim to ownership. Send a message below. Our client seeks ownership rights to the digital wallet for which no valid owner responds. Henceforth, no person shall trespass on the rights from this wallet without authorization of our client. Our client reserves all rights and will act to defend its rights against any trespasser. Now, Cypher Tuck spent some time analyzing this. Let's talk about this in a second. Let's go back here. This is really one of the most fascinating things ever to happen to Bitcoin. It's a bit of an emergency broadcast. That's right. Okay. Beyond this steganographic rabbit hole deepens. Beyond the simple op return spam, there's a sequence of numbers still under analysis that you'll come to understand throughout this investigation. One worthy of a Netflix series. I like that. Un film digne d'une série Netflix. I agree. Stay seated and stay focused. Sally Smith Barney, exactly. The wallet has been hacked, but we don't know if the wallet was hacked through cryptographic or on a side channel, auxiliaire, through a different way. Okay. The Wikipedia page linked in my previous article represents a disturbing homonym with the name Craig Wright in the introduction. Coincidence? Really? Yet the spam in the fourth message was sent at very specific intervals. Why am I specifically referring to the fourth message? It's quite simple. In 30 seconds upon reading that message, I was naturally guided towards the dedicated episode page mentioned the October 5th air date, but also to that number sequence and the homonym I hadn't revealed in my previous report. You can imagine why. My investigative journey went from legal constructs like Solomon Brothers and Eisner-Ampner through disturbing findings on Bitcoin Talk by Johnny TX, Puzzle 130, and the emergence of new hypotheses. A conclusion vastly different from my initial assumptions was my destination. $8.6 billion, correct. Okay. The investigation went through several phases. Craig Wright suspected sophisticated operation by Craig Wright, an alternative theory about this being an FBI or IRS investigation, a statement from Solomon Brothers claiming to protect the ecosystem, the ECDSA vulnerabilities. This is what I focus on. This is I wouldn't say it's my expertise, but it's something a little bit like that. And the final phase, my conclusion after synthesizing these. Putting yourself in the shoes of whoever pulled off this exploit. Yes, you have $8.6 billion now. Put yourself in those shoes. Who, after this insane investigative timeline, have reached what seems to be the most coherent final theory. If I put myself in the shoes of whoever orchestrated this operation, they have to think very carefully through everything. How to exploit historical cryptographic vulnerabilities. How to mask the operation behind a credible legal facade. How to choose the perfect timing. July 4th, symbolic. Now, I think this is a coincidence. My new French friend, mon ami, I think he doesn't believe in coincidences. But I think it very well could be a coincidence.
Coïncidence.
Coincidence. How to avoid overly sensitive wallets like Satoshi while also maximizing impact. This is very interesting. Listen, I'm not sure what's HFSP. Highly have fun, stay poor. So, somebody has this 8 billion. And how to craft a narrative cover. The strategic thinking, the meticulous planning, the surgical execution, this is what my final analysis reveals. Let's get into it. Maxime did not write this post. The full anatomy of a revolutionary exploit. Now, see, I don't think this is a revolutionary exploit. What follows is a complete chronological account of my discoveries, an investigation that revealed how biased ECDSA nonces. So what is a nonce? A nonce is a hash. And I'm looking for some of these nonces myself. Historical random number generator flaws, lattice attacks, and the discovery of exploitable patterns enabled what I now considered to be the most sophisticated Bitcoin exploit ever documented. Here's my final thesis. The first Craig Wright suspicions, July 8th, discovery that changes everything. My investigation takes a sharp turn when we uncover something troubling in Kleiman versus Wright lawsuit documents. In the court files, we find 2 Bitcoin addresses specifically mentioned. These are the addresses. This address, for example, had $1.2 billion and now has $23. This wallet now has $1.2 billion. It's on P2WPKH, the new address format. These 2 addresses received 10,000 Bitcoin on April 2nd, 2011, 14 years ago. And were already listed in the Kleiman v. Wright case. Let's maybe, if you guys don't know what the Kleiman v. Wright case was all about, here's a brief explanation. Kleiman v. Wright, around the dispute over the ownership of Bitcoin, IP related to its creation, Ira Kleiman, as a representative of his late brother, David Kleiman's estate, suing Craig Wright. David Kleiman, the claim was that David and Craig created Bitcoin, and Wright had not properly compensated the Kleiman estate for David's contributions. The jury sided with Wright on most claims, but found him liable for conversion, awarding $100 million. an entity formed by the two. Really insane case with a lot of discovery. And there was a wallet.dat file in this case that I think is very important. Okay. So two addresses received these tokens, and they were listed in the case. One of them belonged to Dave Kleiman's electronic data storage devices, which Wright tried to submit as evidence in September 2021. Kleiman owns or controls these wallets. Wright requests the wallet.dat from Kleiman's family. Wright claims access to these devices. The same addresses today move 80,000 Bitcoin. The floor clusters documented in the trial account for over 131,000 Bitcoin. The 80,000 may only be a part of that trove. Wright literally used Kleiman's wallets dormant for 14 years to execute his Solomon sowing seed widely plan. Is this state-sanctioned recovery or organized theft? The improbable timing of Wright's PDF. The same day I discover something even more chilling. Craig commits his PDF with his name revealed. This is July 4th. On the same day, Bitcoin, we have the largest Bitcoin operation in history, 80,000 moved. So what does this say? I'm not sure I understand it completely, by the way. See details here. So he wrote this paper. And again, I don't have this translated. But here's this paper. It's just sort of about Bitcoin in general. I wonder if there's some weird, there must be some weird like, yeah, maybe I'll just click translate here. I'm trying to figure out what is the point here. This is Adam Back, the founder, many people feel is the Satoshi himself. I'm trying to figure out why this is so interesting, I guess. Let me see. Look at the push date on GitHub of this PDF document created July 1st. Original push without mentioning Craig on June 27th, and to top it off, he committed it on July 4th. I don't understand why this is relevant. Oh, he published a paper right at the time of the heist? I don't know. Is that really that interesting? Okay, let's continue this. So the author is revealed exactly on, I don't know, this sounds like it's irrelevant. So he had a tweet on October 20, 2022. Solomon talked of trade, of sowing seed widely, where that may be. And now there's the Solomon Brothers thing. TrueCrypt protected wallets. So they're hacking this wallet.dat for 10 years. Is that it, Tony? He edited the author at the time of the heist. I don't know. Wasn't that just his paper? Okay, so there's a wallet where, you know, the word fuck is in the wallet name. Some guy says that it's a crypto tax tracing testing operation conducted by a U.S. federal agency. That doesn't make any sense. And here's the funny thing: the address, and this is very important, the address on the website of SolomonBrothers.com is a Renton office. So if you're from New York or anywhere else, you know that you can like rent an address without any evidence. You can just pay $1,000 and you can get an address and a mail and things like that. So I don't think it's relevant that Eisner Ampner is in that office building. Okay. My final angle. While everyone is chasing Craig Wright and supposed conspiracies, an anonymous genius is using the law to legitimize their exploit. They played 4D chess while everyone was chasing ghost theories. The major turning point, the Solomon Brothers statement. It says that, well, we looked at it a second ago. Prove you have access, etc. $17,000 Bitcoin from 2019 wallets moved just recently. We are not hackers. We identify abandoned wallets to protect the Bitcoin ecosystem. Somebody says Roger Ver, another OG. European Union requires all critical infrastructure to adopt post-quantum encryption by 2030. This big post-quantum encryption thread. And now, probably the most important part of all this is this, which is, well, let's continue actually. Current primitives are not designed to resist Shor's algorithm. We all know that there is no quantum computer that could actually do this. There is the the BCH, the Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Jesus, Bitcoin Judas. I think he's drawing too many conspiracies here. But let's look at this. This is maybe the most interesting part of it. I don't know how many of you truly grasp this whole story around 80,000 Bitcoin. I'm trying with help, and even then I admit it's not easy if you don't have technical background. The nonce bug that endangers Bitcoin wallets. To help the broader public understand the magnitude of this exploit, I decided to explain in simplified terms the technical mechanism behind it. This breakdown is crucial to grasp how serious the threat really is. The fundamental principle: if two Bitcoin transactions are signed using the same secret nonce, K, which causes the same R to appear in both ECDSA signatures, enough information is leaked to reconstruct the private key. Anyone can then drain the wallet. So this is where we come in. So we start to drain. Do we start the draining? Vraiment? Oui, oui. Who wants to drain? Do I hit enter? What do you guys think? Alors. Oh, wow. I was just sent something by a Frenchman that's very intriguing. Now, where are the nonces? Where are the double nonces? If they exist, this program should find them. Drainer. Les portefeuilles. So let's let this run for a little bit. Just let it run. So there's supposed to be 647 million signatures, but only 1,068 of those are nonce collisions. Leave me alone. If my French is bad, so what? I'm not from France. Nonce reuse is a known problem in ECC. Let's see if I can. Let's see. Très bien, fromage pour tout le monde, cheese for the whole world. Okay, so if there's only $61 million of private keys that have nonce collisions, then why in the world does it matter? How did we're talking about billions of dollars here, not millions. I agree nothing's impossible. This is why I've been doing my elliptic curve research. All right, let's see. Let's do this a little bit differently. See, try to get multiprocessing going on this. I'm curious how long it takes to even look at 500,000 signatures. So scanning every single transaction nonce. I don't know who Solomon Brothers is, and it's certainly not me. All right, let's keep reading. Okay. So, 647 million signatures on the Bitcoin blockchain. 1,068 nonce collisions. 2,537 keys exploitable. $61 million or 500 Bitcoin. Multiple causes reveal systemic vulnerabilities. Improperly initialized RNG. There was an Android bug. Cloned virtual machines. Hard-coded nonces left in by mistake. That was a Sony exploit once. Fee-saving shortcuts. So, monitor new Bitcoin transactions. Detect if there's a reused nonce. Compute the private key in 1 millisecond. Move the funds before the transaction's even confirmed. Why is this exploit surfacing in 2025? These were very old exploits. AI democratizes the impossible. Open source tools driven by AI scripts now scan the mempool in real time. The private key is computed within seconds, even on a gaming PC. Okay, what happened on March 18th? This turns out to be one of the most important pieces of this. A Bitcoin user opens the thread P2PKH address pairs with reused nonce K. There's a 2018 PDF which brings the vulnerability back into the spotlight. This weakness has been around forever. This is not a hack, it's an exploit. A hack is when you break the protocol. An exploit is taking advantage of human error. We're using the same nonce, K, would be a human error. Bitcoin is mathematically sound, it's the usage that's flawed. Again, we can debate that some other time. This technical analysis reveals that the 80,000 Bitcoin case is part of a larger context of cryptographic exploits democratized by AI. What previously required advanced cryptographic skills, resources, is now accessible to anyone with a gaming PC and AI scripts. So this is a visible part of a larger wave of systematic exploitations made possible by this technological Well, thank you. I'm just talking to the guy on the side here, and again, I thank him for his contributions to this. It's really nice research he's done. Now I can stop speaking French, or trying to. So it's an interesting email from 2018 from Zuck to colleagues about considering spinning out Instagram. The link of this is all on cyphertux.net. Okay, so biased nonce. Lattice attacks against weak ECDSA signatures. So I had not spent a lot of time on this myself because kind of my poor understanding of Bitcoin is I didn't appreciate that nonces are in every transaction, not just other signatures of say up return and things like that. Now that changed, I think, with segregated witness and some other tools. Well, $8 billion is not a small nothing burger. This is one of the core Bitcoin devs. The apes are gone. This is Greg Maxwell, one of the moderators at Bitcoin Talk. Let's see what else is going on in Bitcoin Talk. I like this guy, K times G. I've seen him. I've seen his work before. Anyway, 252 bits of entropy is the key. I wrote an entropy program that goes through this. I have to find it. Okay, so he's saying that the hacker intentionally is obfuscating with this whole Solomon Brothers thing, and all of this stuff is all kind of BS. $8 billion. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, what it's all about. It's a lot of little breadcrumbs. That's funny, Curtis. Yeah, these aren't prime numbers exactly. They're not semi-primes or biprimes. They're ECDSA, so you're solving a discrete log problem. Let me see how we're doing. Oh, okay, we scanned 2 million signatures, not too many. But I'm going to let that run. As a rapper would say, just let it run. I don't know anything about steganography or whatever. Um, I'm gonna take a small rigetti, a very short break, maybe 60 seconds, and I'll be back and we'll continue hacking. All right, be back shortly. I guess I really should have been doing those 160-bit puzzles. I mean, now that I think about it, it would have been very useful to do smaller keys instead of doing all 256 bits. Hey, James, have you heard about this crazy thing going on in Bitcoin? This really wild stuff. Ha! Salomon Brothers is long gone. It was gone in the 80s. This is a fake Salomon Brothers. Faux. It is not real. The only thing I can say is something strange may be going on in Bitcoin. Mindfuck at Comcast.net. Oh, Rivist at MIT.edu. I heard of that guy. I wish we still had these, listservs and forums. Ron Rivest, MIT professor. No, I said something may be going on. We don't know if anything's going on. Do I have to register? I don't know if I have my. I don't know if I ever registered on this website. Log in, register, choose username.
K D F F V
Trying to solve this CAPTCHA, but oh, it's Kate. Oh, I see. What the fuck? Okay, I may have a username. Bizarre. Remove proxy ban. Your IP address has previously been used for evil on this forum, or is a known proxy VPN Tor exit node. What? I have to pay 47 Satoshi to atone. The people listed here can whitelist you. What the fuck? I ain't do nothing. Thanks, meme. Guys, don't look at this code, please. Thank you. This is none of your business. I linked the article 100 times. Here's it yet again. This guy BitCurve is pretty good, I think. Don't make fun of my Knicks t-shirt. A lot of people fighting on here. shoot, my contact just came out. Just give me a second. Hello, kitty. Yeah, I'm sort of at a lost point here because I can't find any reused nonces. I could try to calculate the entropy. Yeah, I need to do some annealing. DPs are distinguished points. Okay, not that DP. Distinguished points of Pollard's row. Yeah, I mean, I do think quantum eventually will work. Big step. Big step, great step is BSGS. Oh, what's up, Quantesla? Hmm. This guy seems to have. Okay, so he's doing 10x my speed. Maybe even 20x. Hmm. I'm not a lightning expert. I don't know. It seems. I mean, it seems like it's useful. Yes, I like to move it, move it. It's cryptotux.com is the guy that, or cryptotux, let's see, cryptotux, isn't this the guy? Cyphertux? Cyphertux, not cryptotux, Cyphertux. You have a wallet that's vulnerable? How'd you find that? Oh, this one only has $3 billion. Should we take it? 3.7 billion. That's a little bit below my pay grade. That's probably the biggest wallet. It's probably Binance wallet or the Robinhood wallet or something. Let's see. BTC Whale, dormant address. Oh shit. People seem to hate Craig Wright. Well, where did the thing get its Bitcoin? I'm trying to find this 10 years ago. Seven years ago. Can I sort by value? This Arkham thing's a little painful. He's just not that guy. I'm not in Brooklyn. I'm not working from home tomorrow. Market's open, right? Yeah, if you reuse a nonce, it gives you enough information to reverse. JLP is Jean-Luc Pons. Meanwhile, good luck with your Python and C scripts. See you in a couple of years. I wonder if he's using Rust then. Or maybe, I mean, probably just CUDA. Pure CUDA? I can do pure CUDA. I mean, my thing's pure CUDA. Pure PTX, another story, I guess. Distributed CUDA would be fun. PTX is the CUDA assembler. No, only if the nonce is used twice. Thou hast done goofed. I like this guy though. I don't hate Bitcoin, no. I like this guy. I want to meet this guy. I don't hate coin. I don't hate Bitcoin at all. This guy does know what he's doing. This is his GitHub, K times G, which is a Bitcoin thing. He has 4 followers. He now has 5. This thing has 3 GitHub stars. Yeah, I wonder if they're trying to do some kind of timing attack, but I don't think that really works. What the hell is Farcaster? I like Bitcoin. You can measure me. That's the measurement. Can you even burn Bitcoin? Anyway, he is won the wall. This thread is so big, jeez. Okay, hold on. Pollard's kangaroo ECD OP solver. Ah. Yeah, no, analog is pretty excited. $120K, crazy. I don't think so. I mean, it could be wrong, but I'm not really finding great evidence of an exploit. I mean, it almost seems somewhat normal that 80,000 Bitcoin would move. Sure, we have analog computers. You can make a computer out of wood. I mean, it's not too hard to do. Can't believe it's 10:30. It's a little rabbit hole. Probably a false alarm. It's so hard to say, though. I mean, clearly these. maybe it makes sense to archive every nonce and then see if there are any that are like very similar. In this case, if they're related mathematically, if they're affine. Yeah. So you want to look at the ones with the most outgoing transactions? I always do this. Yeah, analog computers are the shit. They can solve square roots. Felix, do you have the this has roughly a billion. Yeah, Goodell works. Yeah, there's an NSA guy, I think, that was involved in all this. Jerry Salinas. Okay, so I just need the nonces, I guess. Yes, I play guitar. So I have to write a new program that doesn't just find identical nonces, but also yeah, I played live, sure. Yeah, we need Nicolas Cage. It's gonna be a long week. I think we have a student discount, but look, I mean, we're going after institutions mostly, but yeah, you can use it for free too. I mean, the only reason you would need the student discount is if you wanted the paid features, but try it for free first before you start worrying about the student discount. Yeah, exactly. Cornucopia. Just go to the site. Just go to godelterminal.com and you can decide if you want to pay for it after you um, Love Island. Use on Love Island. What else do we have? Iran to export ceramics. Red Sox draft a new pitcher. Yeah, do I want Kamath as an investor? That's the only question. Little kitty cat. Oh, I love you, kitty. Oh, you're so nice. Oh, you're so nice. Aren't you a lovely kitty? Yes. I so love you. Let's see which of these guitars is better. That's very out of tune. Oh, this doesn't have strings on it. My poor cat is not here good. No, they had the I have not been short Bitcoin in a while, so Suck my dick. Whatsoever long. I'm pretty sure the op return happened first. That's a Martin and a Taylor. They're two very different guitars. I haven't played in months, man. Minus the bear. Okay. Thank you, New York! Yeah, I have to like change the scanning. So I'm looking for exact nonce duplication. Then after that, maybe I should do affine nonces. How much should a minion sell? Okay, I probably should get some sleep. Well, thank you for hanging out with me. I don't think we learned anything here, other than some speculation that maybe there's some weaknesses in certain nonce patterns. There are a billion signatures, so I've scanned 1% of them, but